the war on Chiraq and what it could be and what it could have been. The thing about this is that there's there's a lot of legends that come out of Chicago, y'all. A lot of talented people, a lot of people, big name people that are legends from out of Chicago. Um, we had Bernie Mac. You had Lisa Ray, Diamond from Lisa Ray. Well, Lisa Ray is Diamond, but the Brat, which is her sister. R. Kelly. You got Common. You got Do or Die, Twista. You had I believe Shauna was from Chicago too. Uh, R.I.P. Bernie Mac. You know what I'm saying? Oprah Winfrey. There's a lot of legends from Chicago, and the thing about it is the topic is called the war on Chirac and what it could be, and because looking back, there was once the East Coast. I remember when the East Coast had the music scene on jump. Then it went from the East Coast to the West Coast. Then it went down south. And I really believe Midwest really could have had the music scene on lock, especially Chicago. Um, Chicago has some of the most biggest names and talented names out there in a city. You know what I'm saying? You got Lil Durk, you got RIP FBG Duck, uh, and the whole FBG camp. You know what I'm saying? Lil Herb, G Herbo, Lil Bibby, Polo G. Uh, what's that? PFG Nuke, PGF Nuke or something like that. Then you got Osama that did the song with "Fuck Your Cousin" with Lil Durk. Uh, you got so much talent that was in Chicago. One of the most savage drill rappers there was R.I.P. Lil Pappy. Lil Pappy was a straight savage. King R.I.P. King Von. Chicago would have been basically the new. It would have been bigger than Atlanta to me, if you ask me. It would have been big as Atlanta, uh, and plus Chicago was more official with their raps. These was real street dudes that was really getting them views and stuff. They was getting more views than these other so-called celebrities and other gusto ass rappers out here though. You know what I mean? But Chicago definitely would have killed Atlanta. As far as music scene, they had too many authentic rappers and that really was from the streets and that really was living that life. You know what I'm saying? I just look at if Chicago would have not been warring on each other and they would have came together as far as music league wise and just came together as a whole, Chicago would have been something else. You know what I mean? Like I said, it would have killed Atlanta most definitely. You know what I mean? To me, Chicago should have showed more unity. But to me, it's just like, when Chicago ended up getting a spotlight, it just seemed like all they did was just take that spotlight and make the KKK happy. You know what I mean? Because it's just like they use the spotlight to destroy each other, to kill each other, and talk about the ops. And I'm just but like, man, it was just too much. Vaughn and Duck definitely was one of the two greatest ones coming out of Chicago. Let alone Lil Durk, because I like Lil Durk. You know what I mean? Lil Durk is a legend. FBG Duck was a legend. Vaughn was a legend. You know what I'm saying? These is real people. Pappy was a legend. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, do y'all not realize what y'all lost? Do y'all not? And I'm not gonna say what y'all lost. Do y'all not realize what we as a whole is lost? Because some of my favorite artists come from out of Chicago. Because I grew up on Twister. Do or Die. You know what I mean? I like Common. You know what I'm saying? What's the guy name? He was from Pocket Town out of Chicago. Trexter. He was Twister's producer back in the days. E.C. Illa. He was from the west side of Chicago. E.C. Illa, white boy, cold white boy too though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You got Polo G, Lil Bibby, and everything. You know what I mean? Chicago just has so much talent, man, and that's like. It's like they threw it all away, you know what I mean, just for op shit, you know what I mean? And it's like, man, and I'm like, man, Chicago really would have killed the game. I don't think nobody else in the Midwest would have had it on soul like Chicago. Chicago really bought out the Midwest because And then a lot of Atlanta artists would have had to go to Chicago to make music with these guys out here because they were so they were so influential. You know what I'm saying? Influential. You know what I mean? Chicago got the world on lock. You know what I mean? Chicago had everybody want to be Chicago. A lot of these youngsters out here, they want to be your favorite Chicago drill artists and stuff like that. Chicago really has had influenced the world, and Chicago wasn't nothing to play with. You know what I mean? And I'm just looking like, man, I just wish that all that could have came together, man, and just created a whole other spotlight for the city. You know what I mean? Because it was a big deal losing Duck. It was a big deal losing Vaughn. It was a big deal losing Pappy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, some of the greatest is just gone out of Chicago. You know what I mean? And I've never seen so many people at a legendary status come out of one area. The only other place I seen like that was Atlanta. You got New York, you got Cali, you got Texas, but I really feel around 2010, between around 2010 when the drill era started pumping, Chicago did not know they would have had that whole scene on lock, man. It's just like, look at all the people they done lost over. It's just I understand. Like I said, you killed one of their peoples, they come back and kill yours, man, and it's just some greats have really fell from that city, man, and I feel like that city is just lost now. You know what I mean? You had people coming in and out trying to disrespect the city of Chicago, like, you know what I mean? Don't go there with protection. You know what I mean? And talk about, you don't want to talk about us and talk about dead ops and talk about people's dead families and like I seen Charleston White, he went on there talking about fuck Vaughn and fuck Duck. Don't go there with protection. If you gonna have this aura about you like 6ix9ine, if you gonna have this aura about you that you this tough gangster and you ain't afraid to go to Chicago, don't go there with no police. Don't go there with no security. Go there like your original self with you and your little crew of gangsters and see how they work out. Go to 63rd Hood. Go to Old Block and see where that, you know what I'm saying, how you gonna come out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think you're gonna like the outcome. I just be like, man, I want to do really a lot of them just sit back and look at like Lil Durk, the whole OTF camp, the what's left for 63rd, because it ain't no more FBG no more. You know what I mean? But I wonder as a whole, do they sit back and realize what they've lost? Because it seemed like only one person really gained, and that was Lil Durk. You know what I mean? But still, even he has to sit back and look at like, man, look what y'all done lost, man. It's people that's for real, mourning Duck. It's mourning Vaughn, man. There was nothing no bigger than y'all. I'm gonna call it out there, but there was nothing no bigger than Chicago in their music legendary show. It's just sad, man. It's just sad what happened. You know what I mean? It's just really sad what happened, though. Because they really have so much talent, man. And then not only that, it's just they was real. These people was like real known killers and real street dudes. You know what I mean? R.I.P. Alfredo Santana, man. It's like, wow. It's like, man. Ooh, and I see why Duck was trying to stop the war on Chiraq. Duck was really trying to stop because Duck seen the potential of bringing the city together, man. Y'all would have had, man, New York wouldn't have been able to touch y'all. Texas wouldn't have been in Atlanta. Cali, wouldn't nobody have been able to touch y'all. You know what I mean? So many folks that had to run from the city, had to leave the city because of the war on Chiraq, man. It's just, man, I just can't believe, man, because, man, it's like they took all that talent and they just wanted to, just destroy it, man. You know what I'm saying? And the only one I really see, that it made it, was Lil Durk. You know what I'm saying? When there was tons of talent, and I ain't gonna, quote unquote, a lot of people thought Vaughn was better than Durk. Me personally, I thought, Duck was a little better than Durk, even though, like I said, I like Durk. But a lot of people, there just wasn't no talent like Chicago, man. You know what I mean? And just RIP to all the lost soldiers that has been lost in the war on Chiraq, man. Because man, it's just, and like I said, one of the most savages when I was a little pappy. There's times I still listen to Two Cups, Old Slaves and stuff like that. Uh, I still bump FBG Duck. You know what I mean? I thought Dead Bitches, man, was kind of the. I did think that was kind of a dark shadow over him with Dead Bitches because that's when I got really in tune with Duck. Uh, and I was like, man, this dude disrespectful, man. But after a while, you know, when I got to really know and see what type of person he was, and I felt his music, I'm like, man, this dude was really he was a real street dude. He was real. He was a real pure guy from the heart. Uh, You know, you had JoJo. JoJo would have been a big rapper out of Chicago. You can't forget L.A. Capone, man. Rondo #9. A lot of these rappers like 6ix9ine and them, they based their career. They wanted to jump in the game because of y'all Chicago cats like Rondo #9, man. It's like, man, bro, y'all had and y'all. It was just like, wasn't nobody topping y'all, man. Uh, you know, you had you know, you got Tukaville, 63rd St. Lawrence. You had NML, what's that? The No Limit Boys. You know what I'm saying, with G Herbo on them. You got KTS. You know, with KTS Vaughn, KTS Dre, RP. You had a Pocket Town. You got what else y'all had out there? Because there's so many of them. 051 Young Money, you know what I'm saying? RP to Melly, you know what I'm saying? You got THF, Trigger Happy Family. You got JoJo World. You got Taekwon World, you know what I'm saying? To the late fallen soldiers KI, her cousin, which was named after Taekwon World, you know what I mean? You got 60 EBK, which was connected, you know, was kind of like joined with St. Lawrence 63rd. You got a Gyro City, you know what I mean? No Love, you know what I mean? You know, Dirk was allegedly from Dog Pound, you know, Lamron, you know, which is normal. It's normal backwards. Lamron is normal backwards because that's the real street it is. It's normal, but it's Lamron backwards, you know what I mean? You got so, like, you know, you got the Mickey Fins, you got the Mickey Cobras, you got the Vice Lords, you got the BDs, you got the GDs, you got the Latin Kings. Man, it was just so much going. Chicago just had a lot, man, and I just think that Chicago is a falling city, man, that really had potential to bring a whole lot of influence to the world. Not only that, because I think Chicago just influenced the world on the drill, but it has so much of an impact to create a bigger influence and change the world on a better scale. And like I said again, RIP to the lost soldiers, to the lost soldiers of Chicago, man, the Chiraq War, that lost their lives in the Chiraq War. And man, y'all keep your heads up, man. And I'll be back at y'all with another one. Legendary Show 1.